You want to know how a little girl's sick feeling in her stomach saved her life? Then keep listening. Welcome to my channel. I am Fronten'a, and today I am going to read you my audio blog titled How a Little Girl's Instincts Saved Her Life. For the written version of this blog, visit me on my website. The link will be listed below. Now, I wasn't going to say nothing, but since y'all brought it up, go ahead and make sure you subscribe. Go on now. I'll wait. Ooh, child, I thought I was going to have to tell y'all twice. Ooh, and really quick, please make sure you give this video a thumbs up. It really helps me bring awareness to more people. Okay? Now, let's get into this audio blog. The year this happened was somewhere around 1986. I was just about 8, maybe 9 years old. I was a confident little girl, and I loved the people around me. I trusted every single person that I had known. See, I didn't know about stranger danger or being afraid of living my normal childhood. I rode my bike, played outside with my cousins, and enjoyed all the things that most little kids do. In our neighborhood, we had this place that we used to call a candy store, but it wasn't really a store at all. Simply the living room of this Hispanic lady, who I now know as an adult, was probably trying to use her selling the little candies to the neighborhood kids as a way to subsidize her income. She had all the best candies and treats, everything that all the neighborhood children loved. Not to mention this amazing little surprise bag that we called grab bags. As a kid, we saw this as a little piece of heaven on earth. This little surprise bag had things in it like candy and gum and the infamous little parachute man. It was this little cheap army guy toy that resembled what I assumed an army flight man would look like. Well, at least that's what I thought as a kid, because he was all green and he had a parachute hanging on his back by some silly little string. We would throw it up into the air, and almost every single time it got caught on a branch in the tree. But we loved them. I looked forward to seeing what was in that folded over brown paper bag. Now keep in mind, I already knew what was in it, but the suspense of opening the bag overrode the fact that once I opened it, it would be the same little trinkets that I had collected many times before from many bags before. This little bag cost 50 cents, and looking back, 50 cents was nothing. But as a child who was rarely given money to buy anything like that, it was such a treasure. I loved my childhood. It was the quintessential little black girl of the 90s type of childhood experience. Except, my story was almost something different. It was a very warm day outside. The perfect kind of day to go bike riding. My family lived in this 4-unit apartment complex. And the best part about it, not only were there a number of children in the neighborhood to play with, but my cousins lived just a few hundred feet away in a townhouse just through this undeveloped patch of land that separated the 2 units. It wasn't enclosed or anything, and it wasn't some creepy dark canyon, nor a creepy horror film's kind of scary field. It was just an open patch of land that was a bit overgrown and kind of had trash everywhere. All the kids in the neighborhood used it as a shortcut to get to the townhouse complex and back. The complex was called the Tremont Apartments, and all of the children within a mile or so of Tremont Apartments would go there to play. We would ride our bikes, play this game that we called Chinese jump rope, and do this little black girl cheer dance thing, if you will, just to kind of lay stake with our little sassiness. It was pretty ideal. I loved everything about this era of time, all the way down to going in at 4 p.m. so I wouldn't miss the newest episode of Punky Brewster. My childhood was pretty typical for the most part. Well, until Bud. I can't remember if he was there before we moved in, or if he moved in after we did, but nonetheless, he would expose me to a life I didn't know existed. Like I mentioned, I had always known about stranger danger, but as I knew it, it was some like creepy old white man in a creepy white van that pulled up alongside you to offer you a ride or some candy or something like that. They would go on and on about making sure we did not go off with the creepy bearded man. And if he asked us to go with him to see his puppies, we were to say no. And in all of those warnings that I was given at school, no one ever mentioned that the stranger danger could be a young black man that was familiar to me. We felt so safe in our little world that my cousins and I would walk this creepy shortcut to get to the neighborhood pool. And when I tell you it was creepy, believe you me, it was creepy. The pool was at the YMCA. It was named after the late Jackie Robinson, who was the first African American to play Major League Baseball. During the summer months, the pool at the YMCA would be open to the public for the kids in the neighborhood to go and swim. I think of all the things we did as kids, this was hands down one of my favorites. Now, the YMCA was a good distance away, but if we took the shortcut, you could get there in half the time. Now, the shortcut meant we would have to go under this desolate freeway underpass. And in order for us to gain access to this underpass, we had to go into this little ditch situation, hop a fence, climb this little hill. But it was never an issue because we always felt safe. And I think that sense of security that I felt may have caused me to not know the signs of danger before it was nearly too late. Well, that concludes part 1. If you want to hear what happens next, make sure you subscribe and turn on your post notifications so you'll be alerted as soon as I post part 2. Also, please consider joining my village. I think you'll like it here. Until next time.